News Radio 700 WLW.
Rock, the Luigi Mangione case continues to...
I love how when you say Mangione, every time you do, you give the Italian flair at the end.
It's either Mangione or Mangione, or whatever the hell it is.
Yes.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But nonetheless, he's gotten a new defense attorney. And how the hell do you defend something like this?
Well, I mean, OJ was defended and got off, so there's that. I mean, it seems to be that, and I don't know if there's discrepancy on the pictures and is he really the guy, or I don't know what their defense is going to be, but and possibly could that defense be insanity too? That's the other part of it.
Well, let's talk to a guy who knows way more about this kind of stuff than we do. He is our good friend Jeremy Rosenthal. He has been on both sides. He has been a prosecutor. He has been a defense attorney. He has tried over 200 cases, and I think that qualifies the man to maybe speak on the matter, Ron.
Yes, I believe so.
And a good friend of the show, Jeremy Rosenthal. Welcome back to the program.
You are correct that I am a true expert on insanity, more so than anybody that I know. You are right.
Welcome to the club.
Nice. Well played, Jeremy.
So, Jeremy,
Guilty.
With this fella, how do you defend it? Or is there a defense? I mean, just go out there and throw him at the mercy of the court with an insanity plea? What do you do?
More and more, this is looking like an insanity case. It really is. And think about it like this. If I'm defending this case, there are three ways in my mind to defend this. Three. Number one is we didn't do it. It wasn't us, right? It is looking less and less likely by the minute, by the hour, by the day that that's a really viable defense. I mean, you've got a lot of different players here. You've got a lot of evidence that's mounting up that's really walling this guy in. I mean, and look, I don't think they got their guy. I mean, let's I wasn't there. I don't know this for certain unless I was there actually watching all of these things. I wouldn't know that, but from what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, they're gonna link him to this pretty simply. So this isn't me is not really going to be a defense that works. So we can scratch that one probably off our list. The second way that you defend this is kind of what you might call a nuh-uh defense, a reasonable doubt defense. That means that you've got several search warrants that they're getting this and they're getting that, and they're going through his phone and his social media, and they're matching fingerprints and his and look, you can fight these warrants, you can litigate them, you can go through, you can fight the forensics. You've got some pretty talented guys in law enforcement on this case, right? I mean, New York State's going to have, they're going to put the best of the best on this. So is Pennsylvania, so are the feds. So that is probably not a great defense. And jurors don't like the nuh-uh defense. And what do you have left? Well, you've got insanity, and insanity, the more and more you look at it, the more and more you peel back, insanity kind of makes sense. This guy, clean cut, smart kid, great family. And what do we hear? We hear that he's completely fallen off the face of the earth, that the family hasn't seen or heard from him in 6 months, that people today who knew him from last year, the year before, growing up, said, we don't even recognize this guy. What is he doing? What is he talking about? This is the age where young men like this can have a break, a psychotic break, or a schizophrenic break, or some type of other psychosis. It happens. And does that get you all the way to insanity? I don't know, but man, it looks better than the other two options, doesn't it? That's where I am.
So, Jeremy, when insanity is used, and let's say you are granted not guilty by reason of insanity, I mean, how much does that shave off a jail sentence? What does the rest of someone's life look like? Like, I don't know if there's another case you can point to very similar where the guy, what happens to this person?
That's actually a wonderful question. What happens when you win by not guilty of reason of insanity is you go to a state hospital, and you're basically evaluated, and you're brought back to court repeatedly throughout your life until you are not insane anymore, and then the judge has the authority to release you. And a great case to look at is John Hinckley Jr., who shot Ronald Reagan. He was not guilty by reason of insanity. He holed himself up in a room the year before he shot Reagan, watched Taxi Driver 8 million times. I mean, it's a good movie. It's not I don't watch the thing 8 million times, right? Jodie Foster, you remember, Robert De Niro. Look, I believe he's free now, John Hinckley Jr. So
just got free, yeah.
Or got visitation or something? No,
something, yeah.
So now it's going to be a political flashpoint if Mangione is acquitted by reason of insanity and he goes to a state hospital in New York, right? No judge is going to be, oh, let this guy out. Now, I mean, it's a win, but it's a loss. But it's a not guilty verdict, and you're not going to the penitentiary, so there's that.
So, what kind of a situation will you be in a state hospital, Jeremy? We're talking to Jeremy Rosenthal. What kind of a situation is that in fact?
I wouldn't think it's a ton better than prison. I think that you're. I think you've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right? It's a state-run institution. You've got some highly mentally challenged people who are there, criminally insane people who are there. So it's not. I don't think it's for lightweights, and I don't think it's exactly Club Med or Club Fed for that matter. So. And look, I mean, sometimes there's cases that I might handle that might walk into my door where, oh, I'm a drug dealer. Oh, really? You are now, aren't you? Okay, yes, I'm dealing with the cartel. No, you're not. You're talking to yourself in the alley, and all the neighbors are concerned and calling 800 times, and you might think that, but you're not, and we need to medicate you, and then you're not going to be running around and doing weird, crazy things anymore. So most instances, the insanity defense can look like that, and you can be restored either outpatient or with just limited inpatient ability. But when you're so insane that you kill someone, it's going to be a while.
Jeremy, earlier you mentioned the political implications of this, because that's what makes this one especially odd. Like in one group of people, I'd say politically is probably more, liberal-minded people on the college campuses are kind of exalting this guy as a hero, and then there's a side of people that are saying, look, this guy still, killed a guy, right? This guy's got a son, and and he's a father and all that sort of thing. So how does that play in this? Is there extra interest in a side finding this guy guilty or not guilty because of that aspect?
Absolutely. I mean, listen to this. We just got done with the Daniel Penny trial, and that was a big flashpoint between mental health and self-defense, and are the subways clean? Are they not clean? And this guy's a Marine. This is a completely different dynamic. Now we're talking about the healthcare system and whether, again, I don't think anybody wants somebody dead, but the fact is we're talking about it, and Americans are talking about the healthcare narrative for this reason. And so, yes, it pushes this debate, and Americans are engaging and talking about it in a way that is hopefully constructive. And in Manhattan, they're afraid of copycat crimes. They're afraid that CEOs are getting their names plastered out on places. So again, but I don't know, what's crazy to me, looking back at the Daniel Penny case, the battle lines aren't the same here, right? I mean, we're talking about healthcare coverage and people who bang their head on the wall dealing with their healthcare providers, and people who don't. And again, I mean, I think Michael Moore got in trouble earlier today. He said some things about blasting all the healthcare CEOs, and then he kind of stepped it back. But of course, I don't want them, shot. So it's a real, again, it hits a real cultural nerve in this country because healthcare is so complex and so emotional. It really is.
Well, let's face it, it's probably one of the more important aspects of our lives as Americans at this point in time. And with that, Jeremy, we will let you go. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, guys, and by the way, if you guys ever know what's the rule for when you block a kick or a punt and it goes past the line of scrimmage, do you guys know the rule for that one? Because nobody here in Dallas knows that.
That's right.
Absolutely. You got to treat it as...
I knew you were going to bring it up.
Treat it as if it were a normal punt. You know that. If it goes past the line, you get the hell away from it. Come on.
Yeah. Wow, that was great, wasn't it? Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. We're gonna go lose to somebody else in another 20 years for the same stupid thing.
You're going to get a high draft pick. You got to hold on to that, Jeremy.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
See you, buddy.
Yes. Yeah.
Our good friend Jeremy Rosenthal.